Namaste and welcome. Today we are exploring a grounding yoga sequence for the Root Chakra, and this is part of our free 7-day yoga immersion. You can click the link below to sign up and join us for the full 7 days if you like, and I have an exciting announcement that I will share more about at the end of this video, which is that our Embodied Wisdom 200-hour yoga teacher training online is currently open for enrollment, which happens only once a year. For today's practice, you might like to have a couple of yoga blocks if you have those available, and anything that you might like to bring along for your final relaxation, which will have the option for a Yoga Nidra for the Root Chakra. You can begin by finding a comfortable seated position in Sukhasana, and if you're not comfortable with the legs crossed, you might bring a cushion or a bolster beneath your pelvis, or perhaps you extend one or both legs. And then bringing the right hand to the belly, the left hand to the heart. We'll begin by closing down through the eyes and starting to come into presence with the breath. You can begin by feeling the natural rhythm of breath that is already here, and then begin to deepen the breath, lengthening the inhale as you feel the belly expand beneath your palm. And then as you exhale slowly, let the navel draw towards the spine. Inhaling to expand the belly like a balloon, and then feel your breath draw into the rib cage. And then exhaling the ribs and the belly as the navel draws inward. Making your way towards a full 3-part breath, inhaling to expand the belly, the ribs, and then the upper chest. Exhaling all 3 regions together, navel to spine. Continuing belly, ribs, upper chest. Slowly exhaling, drawing navel inward. As you continue in this way, let your shoulders soften, the muscles of the face relaxing, even the tongue letting go. Another full round of deep Dirga pranayama here. Deepening breath. And noticing the effect on the nervous system after this short period of intentional breathing, of deepening the breath. Slowly fluttering the eyes open and begin to extend the legs forward. If you're sitting on a prop, you might remove that pillow or blanket now, and then extending the legs out long, letting the hands rest in the lap. A gentle flex in the feet, and you might even walk your sits bones a little bit farther forward to find the base of the pelvis, and then lengthening up through the spine. Feel the alertness of the spine, and then rest the hands by the side of the body with the palms facing down. Could you imagine the legs firmly pressing together, both at the thighs and the calves? And keep the chin parallel with the floor, and the shoulders relaxed. Closing through the eyes, begin to witness the breath, the tastes inside of the mouth, the sensations of the body, noticing any activity in the mind. And could you bring your attention to the sensations at the tips of your toes? Sensing the tips of your toes. And then could you bring your attention now to the base of your spine? Muladhara Chakra. The base of the spine. You might welcome a glowing red energy or light here at the base of the spine. Dandasana. The word danda meaning stick. And could you bring your attention back to the tips of the toes and slowly inhale to stretch your arms up towards the sky. Exhaling down into Paschimottanasana, folding forward. And if there's any discomfort in the low back, please rise back up to a long spine. Engage through the core and hinge at the hips ever so slightly, staying here with an engaged core and a tall spine. Only rounding forward through the spine if it feels safe and comfortable for your low back. You might be able to rest your hands on the shins or the earth on either side of the legs. Perhaps you can reach for the ankles or even the soles of the feet. If it's comfortable, letting the head drop down towards the knees while keeping the legs together, shoulders and toes relaxed, sensing gravity and welcoming gravity to work to release the upper body down. Focus on the stretch through the spine. Could you deepen your breath here? Letting your attention once again rest at the toes. You might even imagine that you could breathe all the way down the legs into the toes. Taking one more deep breath here, you might inhale through the nose and exhale slowly through the mouth. And slowly rising up from Paschimottanasana and returning to Dandasana. Inhale. And just observing the effects on the body, mind, and breath. Next, taking a moment to draw the legs away from each other coming to Upavista Konasana. So once again, a gentle flex in the feet, lengthen through the spine as you reach the arms up. Inhale. And exhale once again to fold forward. Once again, if there's any discomfort in the low back, you can come up to that tall spine with an engaged core and let the stretch be subtle. If you're comfortable to let your spine round forward, please do so. And coming back to your breath here. Feeling the stretch. And once again, might you let your attention rest in the toes. You might imagine you could breathe all the way down the legs into the tips of the toes. Deep breaths. Slow, deep, grounding breaths, soothing the nervous system with each inhale, with each exhale. Finding a consistency to the rhythm of the breath. Breathing in slow, long. Exhaling slow and long. Consistency is the love language of the nervous system. Finding that consistent rhythm of breath. One more deep breath here. Inhaling. You might exhale through the mouth and slowly rising up on the inhale, coming to a tall spine, and we'll come to one more forward fold together, coming back to Sukhasana. And once again, finding your 3-part diaphragmatic breath. Dirga pranayama. Breathing into the belly, ribs, upper chest. Exhaling to join the hands in Namaskar Mudra. Inhaling, belly, ribs, upper chest, and with the exhalation gently folding forward and resting the forehead down towards the earth. Once again, it's okay if you don't have the range of motion to bring the forehead down to the earth. You can keep a tall spine and engaged core, and then bring the thumbs towards the mind's eye. If the mind's eye reaches the earth here in Bhunamanasana, surrender to the earth pose. You might simply imagine you could breathe the grounding energy of the earth into the mind's eye center. The word Bu meaning earth, and Naman meaning surrender or to surrender. Surrendering to the earth pose. Taking one more deep breath here into the mind's eye center, grounding energy here. And then when ready, rising with your next inhalation, releasing the hands down into the lap and just observing how you feel, noticing what you notice. And you might even bring to mind any gratitude that you have for the earth and all of the blessings that the earth bestows on you and your life. You might mentally whisper the words, "Thank you." And slow and steady, we'll transition next into table pose. I know this grounding earth element yoga can be very slow and meditative, so just embracing the pace, the slow nature of this practice. And as you come into table, draw the hands beneath the shoulders and the knees beneath the hips. And then let yourself settle slowly back into child's pose, Balasana or Garbhasana. Take a deep breath in through the nose and out through the mouth. Good. Could you begin to walk your hands slowly over towards the right side? Walking hands over to the right and finding a stretch through the left side body. You might walk your left fingertips a little farther away, and then imagine here you could take a deep breath into the ribs in the left side body. Exhaling through the mouth. As you breathe in, you might imagine your ribs like a little umbrella opening up, creating space. One more deep breath like that. And then slowly lifting the forehead to walk the hands back to center. And taking one big breath here in through the nose, out through the mouth. And then slowly walking your hands over to the left side, creating a nice stretch through the right side body. Again, deepening the breath into the right side, and you might even walk your right fingertips a little farther away. Breathing in through the nose, out through the mouth. Imagining the ribs like a little umbrella as you breathe in, creating space, and then exhaling, letting go. And then slowly lifting the head and walking the hands back to center, settling back and down into Balasana or Garbhasana. The word Bala meaning baby in Sanskrit or child. And the word Garb meaning womb. Begin to rise up on your inhale to table pose. And the option is there to step the right foot forward into Anjaneyasana or lunge pose. Or if you feel called to, you could move through downward facing dog, gripping through the fingers, tucking the toes, and lifting the knees off of the earth to send the hips back. And then you might even pedal the feet here a little bit before stepping the right foot forward. As you find Anjaneyasana, we'll come and take the hands to frame the front right foot. You might use blocks here on either side for support. And sinking down into the hips, taking a deep breath here. And then might walk your right foot a little farther back to rise up here to crescent lunge. Inhaling to reach the arms skyward, and then palms might even touch here above the head, coming into a slight back bend by keeping the core engaged, letting the shoulders soften away from the ears, and taking a deep breath here. Option to slowly flow with this breath, inhaling to find that crescent lunge, and then exhaling to lower the hands down and stretching the right leg forward into Ardha Hanuman, half monkey god pose. And then you might flow here back and forth, inhaling to rise up to crescent lunge. Slow, steady breaths as you exhale to lower down and stretch through the right leg. Inhaling to rise, exhaling to stretch. One more time. And slowly making your way to the other side, bringing the hands down to frame the foot, and then stepping the right foot back to table, or you might come back to downward facing dog momentarily as we switch to the other side. Stepping the left foot forward, bringing the hands to either side of the front foot, perhaps on blocks. Knee above the front ankle as you begin to sink the hips down into Anjaneyasana. Taking a deep breath here. And then you might step the front foot a little farther back to find some stability, rooting down through the front foot to rise up with the arms, finding crescent lunge, a slight heart opener and a deep breath. Option here to inhale, crescent lunge, and then exhale, letting hands come down to the earth or your blocks as you extend the left leg into Ardha Hanuman. You might flow with your breath here, inhaling to reach the arms back up, palms touch, heart opens, core engaged. Exhale, folding forward, finding the stretch in the thigh, in the back of the leg. Inhaling to rise, exhaling to fold. One or two more times like this. The next time that you reach the arms up to the sky, exhale to bring the hands down to frame the front foot, maybe on the earth or maybe on your blocks. And then could you tuck the back toes under and lift the knee to step the back foot forward, finding forward fold, Uttanasana. Feet about hip distance apart, you can spread the toes nice and wide. Option to grab onto either elbow here. If you feel any pressure in the head or the eyes, please come up to a halfway lift with your head above your heart. But if it feels good to grab the elbows, let yourself rock here a little bit from side to side. You might imagine you could breathe in through the soles of the feet, up the back of the legs and into the base of the spine. Nourishing Muladhara Chakra with grounding, earthy energy. Deep breaths here. And slowly rounding up one vertebrae at a time, let's take a couple of deep breaths to rise all the way up. Inhaling deeply, exhaling, rolling up vertebra by vertebra, eventually coming all the way to stand. On your next inhale, could you draw the shoulders up towards the ears, And then exhale to roll the shoulders back down and away from the ears. Inhaling, shoulders roll forward and up. Exhaling, shoulders back and down. Inhaling, forward and up. Exhaling, back and down. Take a moment to notice your feet here, hip distance apart, and spread your toes wide. Grip down through the toes and imagine your 4 different corners of your feet grounding down. Could you welcome a soft micro bend in the knees? And turn your palms to gently face the front of your space. Shoulders relaxing down as the spine lengthens, crown of the head to the sky. Tadasana, the mountain pose. Could you take a deep breath here? From this mountain pose, take a moment to feel the effects of this practice so far. Feel your feet grounding into the earth. Feel the slow rhythm of the breath. The consistency of the breath in this slow rhythm, the love language of the nervous system. Could you begin to slowly heel-toe your feet a little wider apart, drawing the toes away from each other and the heels in towards each other. And we're going to explore down into Malasana. And so you might bring a block along with you, or if you know that your knees don't go into a deep flexion, you can also come to a Devyasana or a chair pose or something that is a little bit more friendly for your knees or your hips if you're someone who doesn't have the ability to go into that deeper knee flexion due to a surgery or injury or anything like that. Please take a deep breath in through the nose and then slowly begin to bend the knees, coming down just as far as feels comfortable, and then inhale to rise slowly back up. Exhale to come down, and you might come a little deeper into the yogic squat. Inhaling to rise back up slowly. And exhaling, this time you might come all the way down if it's in your practice, or you might continue to flow with your breath. Inhaling to rise up, exhaling to lower down. You could use blocks here for support if you like. And if you're coming into stillness, bring the hands to the heart center and let the elbows gently press into the thighs. Deepen your breath. You might let your eyes soften with your gaze just gently forward, or if you feel steady, you might let your eyes close down and bring awareness to Muladhara Chakra at the base of the spine. Coming back to the diaphragmatic breath, 3-part breath. This pose is said to pacify all 3 of the doshas, as well as strengthening the digestive fire, the Agni, and is said to regulate and energize Samana and Apanavayu. Could you lengthen your spine? Take another deep breath and feel your feet grounding equally into the earth. The option is here now to explore Skandasana from side to side. So you might like to bring a block along for this journey if you like, and just slowly we'll begin to rise up. You can heel toe the feet back to a neutral position for a moment, and then we'll step the feet a little wider apart and begin to bend the right knee deeply. Again, you might come to more of a halfway position and use a block for support, but if your knee has the ability to come down into that deep flexion, you can come down into Skandasana pose. On the inhale, slowly rising up and coming over to the other side. And we'll just begin to explore slowly with the breath, inhaling to center, exhaling over to one side, coming down just as deep as feels good for your body, inhaling to the other side, exhaling to lower down. Just one or two more on each side as you move with your breath. And the next time that you rise all the way up, taking a moment to turn the feet parallel, and we'll come once again to a forward fold. This time a wide-legged standing forward fold. Could you take a deep breath in and reach the arms gently up to the sky, and exhale to hinge at the hips, folding forward. You might bring a block beneath your heart to bring the earth up to you, or you might find it easily for your hands to find the earth here. Would you take a deep breath in through the nose, exhaling through the mouth. Once again, if you feel any strain in the low back, you can come to a halfway lift and keep the core engaged. And if it feels good in your body, if it feels accessible, allowing yourself to drop deeper and feel the effect of gravity here on the body. You might imagine you could breathe in through the soles of the feet, up the back of the legs towards the base of the spine. And you might imagine you could exhale from the base of the spine all the way towards the crown of the head, like a waterfall of energy pouring back down into the earth. Inhaling from foot soles up to the base of the spine. Exhaling, energy pouring down over the body and the spine towards the earth. Inhaling, just imagining the breath drawing up the back of the legs. Exhaling, a waterfall of grounding energy pouring back down into the earth. One more deep breath here. On the next inhale, rising up to a halfway lift, engaging the core, lengthening the spine. Exhale to stay here. And then inhale to rise slowly all the way back up to stand. Tadasana. Step the feet hip distance apart, palms facing forward. Inhale to reach arms up to the sky. Exhale, hinge at the hips and swan dive all the way down, bend the knees, Uttanasana, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale to bend the knees and fold forward, and slowly walk your feet back to downward dog or drop the knees down to table. You could pedal the feet here in downward dog, or you could circle the hips and table, come back down to child's pose. Notice what your body needs here. Let's take 3 deep breaths here wherever you have landed. In through the nose, out through the mouth. In through the nose and out through the mouth. One more time, a deep breath in and let it go. We'll begin to make our way into supine position next. So if you're in child's pose, rising up to table, or if you're in down dog, let your knees drop down to the earth. You can let your feet sway to one side and your hips to the other. And then walk your hands back as you lower down to the earth, letting your back body come to rest on your yoga mat. And then take a moment to get comfortable here. And the last pose we'll explore today is Setu Bandhasana, with the option for the one-legged variation, Ekapada Setu Bandhasana. So could you bring your feet about hip distance apart and walk your feet in as much as you can towards the base of your spine? You might even reach with your fingertips and see if you can find your heels. It's okay if you can't. But just walking your feet in nice and close. Another option, if this doesn't feel comfortable for the knees, would be to allow your heels to lift off of the ground as well when we start to rise up into bridge pose. So could you take a moment here to adjust the shoulders and find a long spine, shoulders down away from the ears, and then a deep breath in. As you exhale, a slight tuck of the tailbone, engage the glutes and the core, and press down into the feet, preferably the heels if you can, to engage the glutes and lift the pelvis off of the earth. Taking a deep breath here. And then on the exhale, slowly rolling down one vertebrae at a time. Inhaling deeply. Exhale to tuck the tailbone slightly, engage the glutes, the core, and press through the heels to lift the pelvis. Deep breath in. And exhale to roll down. You can continue with this variation if you like, or you can inhale, exhale to ground through the feet, engage through the core and the glutes to rise up, and then holding here in bridge pose, holding the posture but letting the breath continue to flow. And the option is there if you like to explore grounding through the left foot and slowly lifting the right leg towards the sky. Grounding through the forearms, engaging through the core, the leg, and then slowly bringing the right leg back down to the earth. Grounding down through the sole of the right foot, where you might be on the ball of the foot for some of you. Slowly lifting the left leg, keeping the core engaged, grounding through the foot, finding your strength here, taking a deep breath. And slowly on the exhale, lowering the leg down. grounding through both feet, engaging through the core. On the next exhale, slowly rolling down one vertebrae at a time, landing into the earth, taking a deep breath in and exhale. Taking a moment now to get your body comfortable for final relaxation. Coming back to the breath. And as you begin to get comfortable and settled into your final relaxation posture, you might have a bolster or an eye covering. I will be linking a Yoga Nidra, a grounding Yoga Nidra from Muladhara Chakra here at the end of this practice for you. Thank you so much for joining me for our free 7-day yoga immersion. Myself and the other faculty at the School of Living Yoga will be taking you on a journey through each of the chakras for each of these 7 days. So please remember to sign up with the link below if you'd like to participate along with myself and our online global community. I promise that by the end of the 7 days, you will feel a world of difference if you have not been practicing yoga daily. And also, we have our Embodied Wisdom 200-hour yoga teacher training open for enrollment currently. Spots are limited. You can download the information package below. It has everything that you need in order to learn more and sign up. And if you made it to the end of this practice and you enjoyed this practice, you might leave me a red heart in the comments if you made it to the end here, or you might leave me a comment with the word grounded in there so that I know that you made it here to the end of our practice together. And remember to sign up below to join this whole free 7-day yoga immersion. I hope you have a beautiful Yoga Nidra practice. Thank you for joining me today. May you be peaceful, may you be healthy, may you be happy, may you be free. Namaste.